What's going on, guys? In this video, I want to do something a little bit different than I normally do on this channel. Normally on this channel, you'll hear me talk about a topic, give advice, how to fit in with a new crew, how to answer an interview question, fitness related stuff. But I wanted to go over something that I know quite a bit about. Over the years, I have bought a ton of different pairs of duty boots. I've had some really good experiences with some really terrible experiences with other, and recently it was new boot time. And what's really frustrating for me when it comes to new boot time is it's really hard to find objective, honest reviews. Things that aren't sponsored by somebody else, or things that people aren't just giving the product to somebody to try it out and then give them a good review. So in this video, what I did is I bought 7 pairs of boots that I've owned either years ago or I currently wear, and I'm going to go over them. They're all very common pairs of boots that are out there, whether you're a fireman, whether you are an EMS as a medic or an EMT, whether you're a cop, whether you just work in the trades and you have to wear boots every day, or whatever it is that you do. So in this video, I'm going to go over the 7 different pairs of boots, and I also gave them a grading score, and I graded them based on durability, comfort, weight, and price. Took a whole bunch of notes on them, and I'll tell you about my personal experiences with them. But before we go into that, a couple things I wanted to say. First, I'm not associated with any company. I don't know anybody at any of these companies. This video is not sponsored by anybody. Nobody's giving me any money. Nobody sent me any free boots. Nothing like that. These are my own experiences. And with that, I want to say that shoes, clothes, boots, things like that, it's really personal. What might work well for me might not work well for you. So maybe you've worn one of these boots that I didn't have a great experience with, but you love them. Throw it in the comments below. Let me know what you wear. Let me know what you like. I'm always looking for good recommendations. I'm always willing to try something new. And then the last thing is and it might affect my personal opinion and my reviews, I'm a little bit of a bigger guy. Most of these videos you see me sitting down. I'm 6'5", about 220, 230 pounds. So I'm probably a little bit harder on boots and shoes than somebody that might be 5'7" and 150 pounds. So these are just my personal opinions and my experiences with each individual boot. If you like this, if you find this useful, if you find this helpful, give this video a thumbs up and like the video. You guys have been very responsive and you guys have been awesome. Subscribe to the channel. And yeah, enough of me talking. Let's get right into it. So the first pair of boots I want to talk about is the Rocky Alpha Force. Now, I had these boots when I first got into EMS years ago. They were cheap. I think you can pick these up for around 90 to 100 bucks, depending on where you get them. Which, by the way, all of the links for all of these different boots that I'm going to talk about, all 7 different pairs, are in the description below. They are affiliate links. If you want to help the channel, please buy through that. If not, that's fine too. It's no additional cost to you. But they were cheap, and that's why I got them. I didn't have a ton of money at the time. They were pretty basic, pretty plain, pretty simple. My biggest complaint with these is they are not durable at all. After a couple months of having them, the sole started to separate from the upper, and then over the subsequent months, it pretty much totally came off. The other thing I didn't like about it is they advertised that these are supposedly waterproof. And I don't know about every pair, but my pair was anything but waterproof. So if you work like I do, I live in Northeast Ohio where it's January at the time of making this video, so it's cold, it's snowy, it rains, it's icy. I would not recommend these. They do not stay very warm. They are not waterproof. The other thing I don't like about them is they have this tread on the side. I don't know if you can see that well in this video. It's ridiculous. It looks like you're wearing an off-road tire. It's not really for me. I know a lot of police, fire, and EMS like to get into the whole tactical thing. I'm not one of those guys. Chances are if you're a fireman, you're not very tactical either. This isn't the military. I think it's a little overkill, but that's just a personal preference of mine. What I did like about these boots is that they were cheap, and they were also easy to keep clean, easy to shine up. If you work for a department or a group where they're very strict on how you look and your appearance, these are really easy to keep clean, really easy to shine up. Just get a thing of shoe polish, do it once a month or so, and you should be good to go. As far as the rankings, durability, I gave it a 3 out of 10. Not very durable. These did not last very long for me. Comfort, I gave it a 5 out of 10. Just average across the board comfort-wise. They weren't really comfortable, but they also weren't horrible either. I've had other boots that were way worse. Weight, I gave it a 6 out of 10. Again, average. They're not horribly heavy. but they're also not as light as some of the other boots I'll go over here in just a second. And then price, I gave it a 7 out of 10. For what it is, it's pretty decent price. You can find them on sale every once in a while for under 100 bucks. And yeah, so if you're new or budget is a big thing for you, I would call these the best budget boots out there. So these are the Rocky Alpha Force. Next boot, the Under Armour Velastes. Now these are really, really popular, and they're really popular for a few reasons. First, you can pick these up for anywhere between 100 and 115 bucks. I think I got mine a few years ago for 115 bucks. I'm pretty sure Under Armour just took a tennis shoe and stuck a boot upper on top of it. They are extremely lightweight. These are by far the most lightweight pair of boots I've ever worn. What I don't like about them is they are not very durable. They are very comfortable for a very little bit, and then the insoles break down and they become very uncomfortable. Also, the bottoms, I don't know if you can see this. I used to wear these for a while. I don't even know why I still have them. The bottoms, after a couple months, pretty much became completely smooth on the ball of the foot. And because of that, like I referenced before, living in Northeast Ohio where it's icy and cold in the winter, these things turn into straight up ice skates. I about died slipping on ice two years ago with these. And so after that happened, that was when I decided I'm getting rid of these and I will never wear these again. These just sit in my garage as just kind of kick around work boots at this point. The other thing that I don't like about them is they are a cloth upper and they are not waterproof. If you're looking for something that's waterproof, this is not your first choice. However, they do stay cool. I know a lot of the waterproof boots out there get really hot. These do not. They're very lightweight and they're very cool. So maybe if you live in California, Arizona, New Mexico, somewhere where it's hot all the time, this might be something you want to look at. You don't really deal with ice. You don't really deal with snow down there, so you don't have to worry about doing that. Durability, I gave them a 3. These were not very durable. I did not like it very much, how quickly they fell apart. Comfort, they were a 6. At first, they were really, really comfortable, and then they quickly became uncomfortable when the insoles broke down. So I'd say average. Weight, gave them a 10 out of 10. You cannot ask for a lighter pair of boots. I think these are fantastic. And then price, I gave it 5 out of 10. For being as non-durable as these were, I thought they're a little bit more expensive than the Rockies. But all in all, it was okay. Didn't break the bank. It's not ridiculous. Like I said, a lot of people wear these. The other thing I noticed about these, and Under Armour has a different pair of boots that are similar to this that has a zipper on the inside. I prefer to always wear zipper boots. For those firemen out there, you got to get in and out of your boots regularly if you're jumping into your turnout gear. Just having a zipper on the side makes it a little bit easier. These do not have a zipper on the side, but I do think Under Armour has a different boot that does have a zipper on the side. So all in all, the Under Armour Velastes, I give it a 24 out of 40. You're not going to go wrong. You're not going to break the bank, but just know that they're not going to last very long. Next boot is the 511 ATAC 2.0. Now these are also extremely common duty boots. Full disclaimer, I'm not a huge fan of 511's products across the board. I have some of their stuff. Some of their stuff's okay. Some of their stuff I don't really like very much. But I would give I refer to these boots as the most average boot across the board. It's not great. It's not terrible. You can usually pick these up for between 120 to 150 bucks. This is the 6-inch one. They also make an 8-inch boot if you like taller boots. I like taller boots. I don't particularly like short boots very much. That's just my personal preference. I like to have as much protection, I guess, as possible when I'm in the back of the ambulance. Durability wise, I gave these a 6 out of 10. I had these for just about a year, maybe just slightly more. They did okay. Where I ended up having problems was that in the back, in the heel, this part, I don't know if you can see here, separated from the upper, and then it just got worse and worse, and then it went from there. Comfort wise, I gave them a 6 out of 10, average. I've had far more comfortable boots. I've had very uncomfortable boots. These fall right in the middle. They're average. Weight, average. Gave it another 6 out of 10. Price, 7 out of 10. They lasted a little bit longer than the Under Armours and the Rockies that I talked about earlier. So for the price, which is maybe $5 to $10 more than you would pay for the Under Armours, I give it a 7 out of 10 on price. Again, not going to break the bank. They're average across the board. The other thing I do like about them, like I was talking about with the Rockies, they're very easy to keep clean because of the leather upper. Very easy to polish up. If you work for a place that's very strict about that, this will be good. And they also don't have as ridiculous of a sole as those Rockies. It kind of looks just like a normal boot sole. So that was a winning element for me. Has the zipper on the side, makes it easier to get in and out of. Average across the board. If you have a couple extra bucks to spend and your choices between the Rockies and the 511s, I would recommend the 511s over the Rockies. But that's just my opinion. Also, I would also recommend the taller boot over the shorter boot. I had the shorter boot. Yeah, just okay. Average across the board. Next boot is a boot I currently wear, still own. This is my current backup boots, and these are the Danner Lookouts. I am a big fan of Danner products. They have a lot of pluses, but they have a couple minuses. So I'll start with the minuses. The first minus is Danner products are usually pretty expensive. However, you do get what you pay for. I believe Danner is based in Portland, Oregon, so I think these are made in America. If you know something that I don't, please leave it in the comments below. I'm all about supporting American companies, so if you have the opportunity to buy something that's made in America, I say go for it. I will always spend the extra money for that. However, they're very durable. These are very hot. If you live somewhere where it's warm, this might not be the boot for you. They get warm very quickly. Your feet will get very sweaty, or at least mine did, unusually so. There really wasn't a break-in period, so they were fairly comfortable. And I've had these for over 2 years now. And if you can't tell, they haven't really been worn that much. I mean, I wore these every day for 2 years. The soles are, ooh, got a leaf stuck on there. The soles are still in pretty good shape. You know, they're not terrible. They're definitely worn. They're broken in, but these will easily last me another year, especially as my backup boots. So they do come with the zipper on the side. And the other thing is not all boots come with this. They have this sort of cloth membrane, for lack of a better term. I don't know. It's important because if you're a fireman and you don't zip your boots up all the time while you're walking around the station, stuff doesn't get in here. I've had other boots in the past that had the side zip that didn't have this, and I was constantly getting stuff in my shoe. So I like that. This little strap to pull the heel up will come in handy quite a bit. Sometimes these can be a little bit difficult to get on and off. But all in all, these are awesome boots. I would recommend them. They last for a very long time. I've had 2 other pairs of Danners in the past, and they also lasted for more than 2 years each. If you're looking for durability, if you're looking for a boot that's going to last a long time and you're willing to spend a couple extra bucks, consider the Danner Lookouts. Durability, I gave it a 10 out of 10. Comfort, I gave it a 7 out of 10 just because they get really hot, and there's not a ton of arch support, by the way, in these. But all in all, they're not terrible. They're not uncomfortable. Weight, I give it a 5. They're fairly substantial in the weight, certainly more than the 511s and definitely more than the Under Armours, but they're not ridiculous. And price, I gave it a 6 out of 10. Like I said, Danners can get a little more expensive, but they're worth the price, in my opinion. So, Danner Lookout, good boot. The next boot I have is the Thorngood Genflex II. These also have a side zip. I had these boots, probably 2-3 years ago, and these things lasted forever. A bunch of guys I work with have these, and they've had them for several years. That's my biggest selling point with these boots, is how durable they are. Everybody I know that has worn these boots has had them for at least 2 years. They last for a really long time. And the other thing is these are particularly easy to clean and shine up. The toe cap and then back on the heel is made of a different type of leather, easier to shine. Could be kind of silly looking, but you know, it's not bad. I think it's a good looking boot all in all. It's got a normal sole that isn't ridiculous looking like those Rockies. And it's also pretty good price for how durable these are. I think I got mine for about 140, 150 bucks is what you can usually find these for. For a boot that lasts this long, for under 150 bucks, that's a really good deal. I would highly recommend these Thorngoods. They're fairly comfortable. Durability, I gave them a 10. Comfort, I gave them a 6. The only reason I took off on the comfort for these is because they had a very long break-in period. It probably took a few months of me wearing these daily for them to get to the point where it wasn't uncomfortable for me to wear them for the first hour or so. So just know that that might be something, maybe you wear extra thick socks or something like that for this first month or two, but you will probably have a break-in period with these. Weight, I gave them a 7. They're a little bit heavier. There's a little more substance to these. They're just a little, they're a durable boot, so you're probably going to have a little bit more in the way of weight. These, I don't know if they claim that these are waterproof or not, but I've stepped in a lot of puddles with these, and I don't ever remember my feet getting wet. Usually, I hate having wet socks. I hate doing that. So I would remember that, but I don't ever remember that being an issue with these. The price, I gave it a 9 because, like I said, for under 150 bucks to get a pair of boots that's going to last more than 2 years, that's awesome. That's really, really hard to find in a boot. I also, correct me if I'm wrong, do believe that Thorngoods are also made in the United States. So for a boot that's made in the US for this price, for this durable, can't go wrong. The next boot, last two, and this is my current everyday boot that I wear. I've had these for 2 or 3 months now, and so far I absolutely love these boots. These are the Merrell Moab IIs. I wanted to try something different. If you couldn't tell by the theme of the boots that I like heavier duty, leather, durable boots. I wanted to try something different and try and switch back to something that was a little more cloth-like, synthetic-like, not all leather across the board. A few guys that I work with have these, and they raved about them, and so I figured, why not? Give it a shot. So I haven't been let down so far. I've had these for just over 3 months now. The outsole has lasted great, very durable on the outsole, great traction. They don't look ridiculous. They kind of look like hiking shoes, which I think typically hiking shoes are pretty ugly. That's just my opinion. But they don't look bad. Surprisingly lightweight for a boot like this. Also have the side zip and the Velcro. Very comfortable, have no issues. They claim that they're waterproof. I've been in a few puddles now since, and I have not had wet feet yet, so that's a big plus. As far as price, I think I got these for 150. I think you can find them anywhere between 140 and 160 depending on where you go. Very comfortable, great traction, durability. I gave it an 8 out of 10. I've only had them for 3 months, but not even, I mean, the outsole isn't even kind of separating from the upper. They've held up really well for me, and this is what I've worn every single day. They are warm, by the way. It is winter in Northeast Ohio right now, and I wear normal socks. I don't wear heavy-duty, crazy wool socks or anything like that, and I haven't gotten cold feet, so that's important if you live in a cold climate. Comfort, I give them a 9. They're very flexible. They're fairly lightweight. Like I said, they're not all leather all the way across like a lot of the others. And price, I gave it a 6. Pretty good price. The verdict's still out, but right now I am really liking these Merrell Moabs. I would recommend them. We'll see. I'll come back to this maybe in a year or so and see if they last for another year, but I don't foresee any issues. Nothing's coming apart at all, and these are my every single day boot while I'm on duty. And then finally, last but certainly not least, is my favorite duty boot I've ever worn, and anybody that asks me, I will recommend these to them, and this is the Bates GX8. I love these boots. I wasn't so sure about them when I first got them. Wasn't sure what to expect. They kind of look a little bit goofy at first, but then the more you wear them, they kind of break in. These are without a doubt the most comfortable boot I've ever worn. If you remember back to the beginning of this video, I said it's a very personal thing. Some people really like certain shoes, some people don't. These fit my feet very well. These are Gore-Tex. They do have a Gore-Tex lining, and you would think that having a Gore-Tex lining, your feet would get extremely hot all the time. That has never happened with me. When I had these and I wore these, I wore them every single day in the summer, and my feet never felt unusually hot. These are truly waterproof. They stay warm in the winter, they stay dry in the summer, and are extremely comfortable. The only downside that I don't like about these boots, and the reason that I ended up ultimately getting rid of them, is the sole. Now the sole, there's nothing wrong with the sole per se at first, but these little nodules, or whatever you would call this, in the tread, wear out fairly quickly. And when they wear out, these boots become similar to the Under Armours, and they turn into straight up ice skates. I never ended up hurting myself like I did on those Under Armours, but they can get pretty slippery, and I wish for the price of these boots that the sole lasted longer. Whenever I wear out my Merrells, I actually just purchased these. These are just kind of in holding for when I'm currently using 2 other pairs of boots. These are the boots I'm going to go back to. I love these boots. The other downside about them is they're expensive. These boots are probably, you're going to find them between $170, $185. But they're going to last you. I think these ones lasted me for about 1.5 years, almost 2 years. And then I had to retire them. But I love these. They're easy to keep these clean. They're easy to shine up. The whole top is leather. They're durable. The biggest selling point for me was just the unbelievable comfort. Most comfortable pair of boots I've ever owned. I gave them a 9 out of 10 out of durability. The only thing that fell apart was the sole. Didn't separate. It just, I don't know if it's the rubber's not durable enough. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just the way I walk. I don't know. Comfort, I give these a 10 out of 10. These are by far the most comfortable boot I have ever worn in my life. Weight, I give them an 8 out of 10. They're not that heavy considering how substantial they are. And price, I give it a 7 out of 10, maybe a 6 out of 10. They are kind of expensive. I wish you could combine the sole durability of the Danner with the comfort of these. These are significantly more comfortable than the Danner, and this would be the ultimate boot. So that said, if you are in the market for a new pair of boots and budget is a big issue, I would recommend to you either the Rocky or the 511. I would stay away from the Under Armour if I was you, just because they fell apart so quickly. If you're looking for a pair of boots just going to last you for a long time, I would recommend you pretty much anything by Danner. The Danner Lookouts have been great for me. Or I would recommend to you the Thorngood, just because they're equally as durable and they're maybe a little 10, 20 bucks cheaper. And then if you're just looking for an all-around comfortable, durable, best of all worlds kind of boot, right now I'm loving these Merrell Moabs or the Bates GX8. Merrell Moabs have the Bates beat on price, so if price is an issue for you, maybe go with the Merrell Moabs. So I hope you found this useful. I'll put all of the links for all of those different boots in my recommendations down below. Please click the links if that's something you're interested in. I hope you found this useful. Subscribe to the channel, click the like button, and I will see you guys in the next video.